Welcome to Buzzbait, your way of something new each week. I'm your host, Lara. With me today are my co-hosts, Colin and Megan. And today we're doing something a little fun.
A little quirky.
Yeah, we're asking questions.
Yeah, we always end the podcast with a question, but today...
Certainly not, because we couldn't find any other cool topics to think of.
Yeah, there's been nothing going on. We are recording on the 27th of October, and there has been nothing going on except political stuff, and so we figured why not... break the gloom and doom with some fun, silly little questions.
Excellent. Yeah. How did we want to structure this? Do we want to have the person ask the question, everybody else answer, and then give their answer? Or is whoever asked the question not obligated to provide their response?
I mean, I think we can play it by ear, depending on the question.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I volunteered before we hit the record button to start asking my questions first because I thought that this one was very topical, and Colin and Lara will know why. Stupid injuries that you've gotten. What are some stupid injuries that you two have gotten?
Huh? What inspired this?
Yeah, I wonder as I cry a little bit.
Yo, I asked her when I first joined the thing, I was like, "Hey Meg, how you doing? How's your finger?" And she said, "It's all purple." And I was like, "Oh."
It's a whole other color than the rest of my body, guys. It's fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We're gonna hear the click of me turning on my light really quick so that I can take a decent picture because I live in the darkness.
Just put it on the camera.
No, take a picture for the pod.
Yeah, take a picture for the pod, but put it on the camera for us.
Yeah.
No, I don't really want to see it.
Lara's like, ew.
So, special injuries that we've gotten? That's the question?
Silly, stupid.
Silly, yeah.
I don't know if you can see.
Like, that looks terrible.
Yeah, that looks like that looks like your dad lied to you and you should go to the doctor.
Because, it's gray looking here, but it's
it looks like your finger is beginning the stages of necrosis.
It's about to fall off. It's literally, can you move it at all?
Yeah, that.
Okay. That relieves me a little bit, but...
Yeah. Anything past that, it's a little bit too painful, but... Look at my knuckle. You see how bad that is?
Yeah, Meg, go to the doctor and, at least have them take a look at it. That's gross.
No, it's fine.
Oh my god.
So, silly injuries.
Yeah, silly injuries. When I mentioned it briefly in the chat, when I was a kid, I liked to climb trees.
Stupid injuries,
but I was scared of heights, so I didn't want to climb down. So as a kid, when you're 10 to early teens and you're immortal and you can recover from anything, I used to climb trees and then just jump out of them. Because I was scared of heights, and looking down while I climbed was terrifying. So I would just kind of go fully stiff as a board and just kind of fall through the tree, either through the branches or fully just hit the grass. And I never got any injury that required hospitalization, but it definitely fucked up my bones.
I'm trying to think of any, because I don't really get injured a ton. I do not have paper skin and glass bones, but I think probably the stupidest injury is when I was a kid and I had to be babysat by one of the families here in town. They had a trampoline, and it's their kids would always have friends over and stuff like that. So there was a lot of people on this trampoline, and I got pushed off. And instead of just falling off over the edge, I kind of fell between the
springs and the rim.
Yeah. So that metal pipe went right on my crotch.
Oh,
damn!
And that hurt so bad. I remember that happened, and I pissed myself because it hurt so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, having done, what Meg was about to say, having done that as a boy, I can assure you that it definitely hurts.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
If you were a dude, I think that you probably would have done worse. You probably
I passed out and woke up. I woke up, and the first thing I did was throw up.
Well, the thing is, too, is, like, I tell the story and people are like, oh, so you were just, like, walking on the trampoline. No, I was in air and got pushed.
Yeah.
So I had a farther drop than what you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Reaching maximum velocity.
I was literally, reaching maximum velocity. And that's definitely...
Can we just talk about the title that you gave yourself and what popped into my mind?
Oh, Pussy Magnet? Yeah.
I was gonna say that your puss indeed was magnetic because it just wham!
Yes. That's why I attract women. It's fucking magnetized now.
The force at which your vagina hit against metal.
Where's my Marvel? Can we work together?
Marvel, can we work together? I'm like Magneto, but just for pussy.
Just her pussy is what I was saying is actually magnetic.
Clitnito.
Oh my god.
You can't go through TSA like machines.
I just keep getting patted down. My crotch just keeps getting patted down. I'm like,
they're like, what are you hiding in your vagina? An EMP?
Oh my god.
You have to find the hottest TSA chick. You're like, you get to check. You're lucky day.
Yeah, you want to take me? You want to take me back and we can check?
Lara just like agrees to go through the procedure. She just goes, "Oh no, I guess you'll have to check me out."
My villagin. Okay, so Marvel, hear me out. So my villagin, Jesus Christ.
You said it twice. I heard it the first time. I was like, I'll let it slide. You know, we're just being quirky and silly.
Villain origin story, and I can't talk.
We are deteriorating at the speed of fucking light.
I almost said villagin again.
Oh my god.
Villain origin story.
Okay.
Isn't that my crotch got magnetized by that incident. But that every time I go to the airport, it's some ugly, crusty man. So now, my goal is to destroy the TSA.
So you are
Captain America has to come in and be like, no, the TSA is good and helps us. And I'm like, but men suck. And I'm like...
Fun fact, I don't remember the exact number, but it's over 90% of like government audits of trying to sneak explosives and weapons onto the planes. The TSA fails 90+% of those tests.
Yeah.
So the TSA does nothing except be racist.
See, so that's what would make me such a good villain.
Yeah, everybody would be like, oh shit, they're tearing down the TSA. Go pussy magnet.
Oh, yeah, Clitnito is fucking killing shit. Like, she's great. Alright, Meg, what's your next question?
Alright, that was the other question I had. Did we want to cycle through questions one by one, or do we just want to have one person drop all of their questions, or like all three of their questions?
I kind of want to do one person drops all their questions.
Okay.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I just wanted to clarify that you were in fact right. It's between 80 to 95%, according to undercover tests, which is insane.
Yeah. TSA is here to help, but only stopping you if you're brown. I'm sorry. That's mean to say, but the TSA the TSA only stops you if you are in fact not white. I've gone through the airport at 5 a.m. looking like I have something in my backpack. And they're just like, yeah, come on in, sir. Don't check me. Don't do any, like, nobody does any extra work. And then I've had somebody who, like, there was a guy when I flew up to New York for a wedding in September. There was a guy, he was dressed very nicely, very professionally. Looked like he was going to, like, a bit, like, he had a briefcase, not just a suitcase. He had both. And I was like, God damn, that man's doing shit. And I shit you not, he was maybe... I don't even know if he was actually like, I don't know how to say this without being, I don't know if he was actually like a different race. I think he was just a very tan man. and they pulled him aside for an extra screening. They opened his briefcase, and the guy literally just goes, "You see all those papers? Pretty dangerous, right?" And I was like, "Oh my god!"
He was trying to get himself in trouble.
I was like, "This man is this is definitely not the first time somebody's been like, sir, you need to step to the side of the line, please."
Did you see that there was like a post or something about like a woman who like got a flight attendant and tried to report a dude because he had like a foreign language on his laptop and it was like fucking math. It was like
my
calculus,
god.
and she was like, that dark skinned man over there, he's got some shit on his laptop. It looks like fucking bomb schematics or some shit.
He's just like doing fucking algebra.
Yeah, just fucking the ignorance of people. It's just insane.
God.
But anyways, the TSA.
If you are white and over the age of 60, you don't get to talk to people of a different skin color.
By the way, years ago, this is how you know that the TSA is a fraud. You guys know my my intense visual impairment. And the TSA.
Did they think you were a threat to
no.
safety?
They were gonna hire me, and I was like,
no way.
Yeah, they were. I bowed out because I didn't want to get through the whole process and then have them reject me just in case, because they had like a weird thing where they were talking about like antidepressants. I'm like, I'm not gonna fly a plane, you don't have to worry about me getting depressed. But I guess they also worry that like if you're too depressed you'll just let people with bombs on planes, which is insane.
Oh no, their concern is that if you see somebody with pills in their bag, you're going to take them. That's their concern. Well, like genuinely.
But if you have concerns are crazy.
Yeah. But they were gonna let me go through with my eye just fine. And I'm like, motherfucker, I don't have depth perception. I can't tell where that like I did pass all of their like visual tests. I got to see what it looks like with like, because like they basically send you to like a place and you have to like test things that get scanned through, and they're like, find the bad thing. Find something. Do you see something wrong with this? And it's like a bunch of shit layered on top of each other, and you've got to like, they give you kind of like a rough idea of what things are supposed to look like. They're like, this is what electronics look like. This is what, and they're not supposed to have electronics in this bag. So like, this is what you're supposed to like click and pick out. This is what like liquids and stuff like these things look like. And I did it just fine. And I was like, oh god, they're really gonna hire me. They're really gonna hire me. And then I was like, I'm gonna bow out because I read something that stipulated stuff about the antidepressants. Anyways, and I was like, damn, they're really gonna hire me. I do not feel safe anymore. If they're gonna hire me,
I don't feel safe on the planes.
Also, I also saw that episode of Family Guy where like Meg was like the hottest TSA agent, and I'm like, I can't fall into that stereotype.
Oh my god,
they're just ugly as fuck. Like, you know, where like the TSA agents are just ugly as sin. I'm like, think about that. Like, people would be like, wow, that's literally it. I just can't do that. So anyways, on to my next question.
Listen, guys, if you have made it to this many episodes and you don't expect us to just go on these insane fucking 2 to 3 minute tangents, I don't know what episodes you previously watched, but it was clearly a different podcast.
Yeah. You should stay, but like,
yeah, like keep watching this one, but like I don't know which podcast you were watching that you're like, why do they talk about random shit so much?
Yeah, like because that is us. So anyways, the next one that I had was actually a question that I was going to use for like the end of our podcast. So I saw this from another podcast, I believe, and it was, hey, if a door is closed, is it on or off?
If a door is closed, is it on or off?
Like functionality
technically be on, because the function of a door is to close and like provide a barrier. That's why they exist.
That's funny, because actually the argument against that is that doors are meant to provide a throughway, because otherwise it would just be a wall. If it was supposed to be a barrier, it would just be a wall.
Yeah, but you can have throughways without doors. You can't have a doorway without a door. Doors are there to be a barrier.
I feel like when a door is closed, it's off.
Damn.
Because when I worked at Walmart, when the instances where we had to go close the front doors, you would turn them off.
Oh, that's true.
So that makes sense. That's what I was thinking, is like, yeah, so like it's basically a wall when it's closed, which is not, in use, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it's opened, it's in use, and therefore that's when it's on. Yeah?
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess, yeah, like in video games, you have to turn doors on to get through them. So I
Right,
guess
or
that
like
makes sense.
electronic doors, they have to be on, and that's when they're opened, right? It's like when they're on. But I mean, it's a little bit like when they're automatic doors, it's a little bit of like a catch thing, because it's like, well, they can be on but closed. You just turn them off to keep them closed forever, and if you never turn it back on, they stay closed. So that's a little bit harder when they're like automatic doors. But like I said, like when it's in use, to me mentally, it's on.
Yeah.
When it's in
Interesting.
use. When it's not in use, when it's closed, it's off. That's kind of like my mentality with it. But it's an interesting way of like to me, the reason why I liked it so much was because it almost like delves into that mentality of like how a person views like certain things, like their perspective, like, you know what I mean? It's not like a deep thing that I'm trying to get into here, but just in general, like how a person views certain actions, activities, or like items, and like how their mind tackles a situation depending on like which angle they look at it with. So I just thought it was interesting. But that one was a super quick one, so which is why I have extras. Colors for school subjects.
Oh, like a colored
Oh,
folder.
Yeah, like what color? Like not even just like folder, but like in general, school subjects. What do you align? We're gonna do math, English, science, and social studies / history.
math was red and science was green. I don't remember the others.
Math is blue to me.
I did
Because like, don't do what
math.
you did, but like, what color does that give you? Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
well, what I did was what that
Assign
color
the
gave
colors.
me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, if I remember, it was red. Red is math
Hell yeah.
because red means danger and me no good at math. So
That's crazy. I always
math
did red
red,
as history.
math red, um, science blue, social
Interesting.
studies green. Right,
I
that was
think
when
I
we
did
did
social.
social
I
studies
think I did.
histories,
I think I did social studies as either orange or yellow.
and then the last one was
English
yellow.
was blue for me.
I did English as yellow or green.
Interesting. This was all before I became the binder kid, where I just had like one of those big, like you zip it shut. I had one of those
Oh,
fucking
just had
things.
everything in a binder.
I was
Yeah.
that. I was so fucking cool back in the day, guys. You don't
Oh man.
understand.
Where's my hug?
Ironically, those two lifestyle changes did happen at the same time.
That's crazy.
The binder did it to me, guys. It was like the Green Goblin mask. It was all the binder.
That's fantastic. All right, so that was another quick one. So I'm gonna just like I like this one too. What's it like a little secret guilty pleasure that you're kind of embarrassed about, like that you don't like to tell people, but you're like, this is what I do.
So publicly, I shit on ASMR and I hate it. And I talk about how gross and weird it is. Most of the time when I go to sleep, I have ASMR playing in the background. Like it helps me sleep, but in public, I not anymore. I guess when this podcast episode comes out, but in public, I will always be like, I fucking hate ASMR. That shit's stupid. But as soon as I'm like, I'm having trouble sleeping, I'll be like, ASMR, please.
I like some ASMR. I don't like eating or anything like that.
Oh no.
I will never do the eating thing. I only do. I don't even. I'd have to go like check the videos because one of the people I follow that does it, she just posts like 6 to 8 hour compilations, and I was like, this is great. I'll definitely be asleep by the time this video ends.
There is this like website or whatever, right? They do like fidget toy orders and stuff, and so they'll put like you can buy like mystery things, and so she films the mystery things and how she does it of like
Ooh.
this person ordered 6 whatever, and like the theme is they all have to be like squirrels, and so she'll then like show how she scoops the stuff and then like pop it open, and it's just something about that. I will wait until she posts like 20 videos and then just watch them all. Like, it's a season of my favorite show. I really love like that. ASMR is wow. I think it's like Whiskey's Whimsies or something. I don't know, but
The one that I follow is GB, GIBI, GB Rest Stop. She posts like big couple hour long at least compilations of different ASMR stuff that she's done before, and it's great if you need help sleeping. But yeah, in regards to I will never listen to somebody eat food. I would rather die.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And what about you, Lara? And what any guilty pleasure?
Guilty
Secret one
pleasure.
You're just like, I don't like telling people that I like this thing. But
As a good Christian girl, Lara's guilty pleasure is kissing women.
True. Very true. Nobody knows that I do that though, so that has to be.
That's a secret. It's a little secret. Don't tell anybody.
No,
this is the Meg's gonna have to bleep that part.
You know what we didn't do? We had Rainbow on, and we made that
you
whole
guys
joke
didn't out him?
about asking him if he was gay or not and outing him, and we didn't do that.
And
so
we didn't do that.
We actually should just cut that entire episode because we need to stick to our word. You know, we really gotta.
So here at Katana Fish, we're liars.
Yeah, we are fibbers. I mean, honestly, what we could do is I could ask him, and then we can just edit I can be a feature in that video, even though I wasn't there. I'd be like, oh, by the way, just so you guys know, Rainbow is this. And then just stick that randomly in the episode.
Hell yeah. But that's also how I know Rainbow doesn't listen to our content, because he wouldn't have known. He should have brought it up himself. If he was a real fan, he would have brought it up himself. Calling him out.
Guilty pleasure. I can't really think of one. I feel like I'm very open about what I like, but the only thing I can think of that's, I guess, not even like a guilty pleasure or something, but so I really like the game Honkai Star Rail.
I haven't played that in so long. I'm so sorry.
I also haven't played it in a minute, but to those that don't know, it is like an anime-looking game, which means that many of the figurines and stuff are going to be a bit horny-fied.
Horny-fied.
And I want some.
Yeah.
There's one character in particular. Now, the in my defense, the models that I'm looking at, they have options of, well, you could have them just completely naked, or you could have them with their actual outfit on, and it's fine.
Are you looking for statues of your one girl? I can't remember her name now.
Not Kafka.
Kafka.
Jing Liu, actually.
I would say that was the other one. I was thinking I couldn't remember Jing Liu or Jing. How did you say it?
Jing Liu.
Jing Liu. That's what it was. I couldn't think of her name, but Kafka was the first one I was thinking of, but I didn't want to say her and then just be like, "Are you trying to get one of Kafka or that other bitch?"
But I guess that's my guilty pleasure because even though, yes, there's the option to have titties out, I still want it.
That's like, I was just like, Lara, I found all this cool fan art, and I was like, but I filtered it because I don't know how comfortable you are with NSFW shit, and I sent you like the Kafka fan art. You're like, oh my god, this is so cool, and I was like, yeah, it's really hard to find pictures people draw of her not naked, riding a donger or having fat titties out. I was like, this community needs Jesus at least a little bit.
So, guilty pleasure for you, Honkai Star Rail figurines.
I guess let's simplify it. Fucking porn figurines. Who cares? Who's listening? I want one.
Who's listening?
I mean, if you probably not for you because it's a male, but we were hanging out in Discord the other day, and my roommate found a post about a $700 Astarian statue, quote unquote. And you can fully customize his donger to either be fully flaccid and uncircumcised or circumcised and fully erect. And I was like,
they talked about that at the panel. Someone asked him at the panel.
He literally got like so upset when he found out how much it was.
Yeah, he was like, he was literally, someone mentioned it at the panel, and the voice actor, Neil,
because people have also told him about like the fucking like $18,000 sex robot that people made modeled after Astarion, and he gets so upset, not because like people love the character that much, but just because of how like ridiculous the amount of money they're spending.
Exactly what he said.
Yeah, he goes, "You guys need to stop. Like, it's not like, I get it. You know, you like the character. I'm happy you like the character. Why are you doing this?"
It's so much money.
Did you guys see somebody bought? I didn't dig into it because I didn't even want to see it in the first place. But somebody bought a sex doll of Sandy Cheeks.
No, I did not see that.
Okay, time to move on. We can't have another episode. We'll have to do this.
No. I'm not I'm stopping.
Well, yeah. We'll have to have this as a. We could talk about this.
Oh my god, we can do a full episode where it's like call back to episode 2. This one's for all the robot fuckers.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Lara, again, Nikki literally will not stop saying
that you're fleshy.
No. Oh. I would kill myself. No. If someone just like constantly called me a fleshy.
Oh shit! Are they like vocal stimming? Like, do you want to rail some robots?
Yeah, get analyzed by aliens.
That's fucking awesome!
That's perfect. I love that so much.
That and something else that...
What was the full intro?
Do you want to
rail some robots and get analyzed by aliens?
Oh my god,
we know
that's
we
perfect.
do.
Welcome to BuzzBot, formerly known as BuzzBait.
When can we get that as a soundbite on their soundboard on the Discord?
I mean, honestly, whenever you figure that out, because I don't know how to do that shit.
So somebody send me the audio clip and I'll get it up there.
It's literally one of our shorts, so it should be nice and easy. Because literally, I played just that short, and Nikki was like, "I gotta start listening."
Send me the short then, so I can just quickly have it.
Because the sound, I said start after episode 4 because the sound quality gets so much better, because like that was what fucked her up to begin with. But literally, she just like vocal stim. She's like, I need to be part of the common vernacular. I'm like, Lara's gonna love hearing this. I hate it.
Invite her to the Discord.
Yeah, if she ever used fucking Discord, I would. But Nikki, I love Nikki. We have a great time when we talk, but talking to Nikki is like tracking down someone who's hiding from the government.
So
nice.
Unless you're physically in person,
trying to listen to BuzzBot.
But yeah, send me that short and I will cut it up a bit if I have to, and I'll get it on our soundboard.
Fantastic. But did you guys want to do questions?
Yeah, I can do some of my questions. If you lost all of your possessions but one, which one would you keep?
This pussy, baby.
That magnetic puss.
God damn it.
I lost all my possessions but one. If I lose them all, am I still paying the bills?
No, if you lose them, like, it's fully, like, it's not your responsibility anymore, it's gone.
Okay, word. So then this computer can go, that's fine. Jeez, I have to keep one. I have so many. I'm looking around my room right now and I'm like, bro, what? My Yang figurine.
Understandable.
Those go for so much now. I'm keeping that one because I got it for free.
One single item.
Yeah, Meg, you gonna keep the football that did this to you?
I don't own that football to begin with. Yeah, no, I didn't get injured yesterday when I started tossing around the football because I didn't catch.
I thought you said tossing a brown football. I was like, yeah, most of them are.
Yeah.
So what's the item you're keeping?
My pills. I need those. I don't think that there's anything that I own. Well, I guess my computer, I need that to do this, so I guess my computer setup. If I can just keep my computer rig, or like what is an item? Is the computer altogether
just
one thing?
One thing. Like you can't have the whole rig, but you can have like a monitor.
Well, I would keep the tower.
Yeah, like you can have a monitor, you can have the computer tower itself.
Yeah,
but
so
you, you can't do like both.
I guess I would keep. Honestly, my computer kind of fucking sucks at times. Well, no, like it could be better. So honestly, I worked in insurance. So like let's say I had a complete loss, like in a fire. I actually have documentation of all my belongings specifically so that they can't fuck me on my personal property. You guys should all do that, by the way. If you have, even if you're renters and you have like renters insurance, like truly document as specific as you physically can what items that you have, because if you just say, oh, I had a computer, I had a desktop, and it was X amount of dollars, they can fuck you.
I mean,
They
anybody
will
can
fuck
fuck
you.
me.
They will try and fuck you. And so getting as specific as possible. Hey, for our listeners, pro tip, document as specifically as you can when you put in personal property claims to your insurance. They have to, if you have model numbers, if you have like specific model numbers, and you have replacement for those items, then they have to get you a replacement. They can't just say, oh, well, you said toaster, here's a $20 toaster. A toaster to us is worth $20. Like, there's like posts online about it, but it is incredibly accurate. As a former insurance agent who did home and auto insurance, it's very, very, very important. So if you know like the components, like you built your own PC or something and you know the components that are in your computer, those specific components are what's needed to break down the pieces of your computer. Because if you just said, oh, I had a desktop computer and it was worth $1,200, they'll even like fuck you from that, because if you don't have the exact like receipts and stuff, like there's just so much that goes into it. Like write down how many pairs of pants you have, what kind of pants, where you got them, and their size. Like all of that shit is so important because they will fuck you out of every dollar that they can. It's just part of the business model. Anyways, rants over on that. I don't think that I have any specific item that is valued to a certain extent. Now that being said, same with collectibles and stuff. And also like because I can't save like my collectible like card collection because that's probably a few $1,000s. But I do have all the cards documented. Like as far
That's
as
crazy.
So not all of my commons and uncommons as far as like by name, but I do have like my bulk documented, as in I have a count of how many commons from each set.
That's crazy.
Okay.
It is indeed crazy because I have thousands. So, because I have not gotten rid of, like, I haven't done anything with my bulk for a minute. So I've just got like 2 4-row boxes, like, you know, like the cabinet boxes that we used to have at work.
Mm-hmm.
I have basically 2 of those just full of bulk.
Damn.
Yeah, it's actually insane. But I also have
your card collection doesn't count as one thing. You would have to pick
Exactly.
You would have to pick a single card to keep.
Yeah,
That's why I just went with my Yang figures.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? They're selling for like $600 now. And I got mine for free.
Got them.
But I don't think that there's one specific thing. My birth certificate. Can I do like my lockbox with my personal papers?
You can save the box.
Okay, and the box has both my birth certificate and my social security card in it. So
yeah, they won't. Be
and the deed to my house.
They won't be in it. You'll be saving the box.
No, that's bullshit, Colin.
You get to pick one possession, Meg.
It's one thing. It's not one thing with a ton of things in it. It's just
okay, but it's not a ton of things. It's literally just like
Meg. That's the point of the question. You have to sacrifice everything else. You get to keep one thing.
Well, I guess I'll keep my social security card because I can use that to get a birth certificate, and I can use and I can just get another deed, I guess, but it's going to cost money.
I have too many friends from too many different places. I have to keep my phone, or else I literally lose contact with all of you.
So I chose obviously the most important thing out of that.
Yeah, if I still lived in New York, my answer would be different. But because I moved away and I don't have any other way to keep in touch with anybody, I have to at least keep my phone.
Well, don't you know, like, don't have people like on Facebook or like on a social media that you can log into separate from your phone?
No, most of my friends are on Discord, and if I don't have a computer, I wouldn't be able to use Discord, so I need my phone.
Gotcha.
And you can use your phone
to look up Yang figures to buy for $600 from Lara.
I was gonna say
because
to
she
take
kept
pictures
hers.
I was gonna say to take pictures of Hole, post to OnlyFans, get money to get everything
Oh, that's
back.
true. I could post pics of Hole. I forgot.
Yeah.
I could
Hole
post pictures
pics.
of the hole and the pole. I could get double money.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh, dude. Finally put this fucking thing to use.
Alright, what's your other question?
That was my first question. I still have 2 more. At least. This one's pretty basic. What's your guys' favorite like go-to comfort food when you're going through the trenches?
Kraft mac and cheese.
Okay.
Tully's chicken tenders.
Oh, I
with
fuck.
ranch.
When we went to New York and we visited Syracuse for a week. Oh, we went to Tully's and I was so fucking happy to be back.
Tully's is so fucking good, but I don't know, something about Kraft mac and cheese, dude. It's like $1 and it's so good.
Oh, yeah. That's my go-to comfort food. Is I like to get ramen, like the chicken ramen, but I put so much fucking hot sauce in it. Oh, it's so good. All right, well, that was quick and easy. I love that for us. This one is going to be potentially more interesting. What is something as an adult you wish you learned and figured out sooner?
That.
And then I have a couple. I have a couple more if we have time for bonus questions at the end. A couple more goodies.
Okay, so my initial answer was kind of, I don't know. The real answer that pops in my head is just really like personal and mental illness coded. So we're gonna avoid that for this fun episode that we've had.
So I think what I would tell my younger self, or things that I wish I knew as like an adult or whatever, right? Was how much the things are going for that I played with as a kid. Like,
honestly, yeah, like explaining to yourself that like the cool, fun little toy collectibles you've got are worth something, and you shouldn't like fucking beat the piss out of them.
Yes, or that like the VHS collection that my parents had, like we should have kept that.
I would definitely go back and tell myself, like, do not let your mother give your N64 to your cousins. It has been such a pain in the... It took me forever to find an N64 that wasn't, like, $7 trillion, because everybody's a scammer in the world. And then to, like, find actual games at an affordable rate, I have to go to, like, fucking pawn shops. Because if I try and buy them from, like, an actual game store, they're like, yeah, this game is $75. And I'm like, my brother in Christ... I am not paying PS5 game prices for a fucking N64 game.
On fucking God. So yeah, I think I would just, if either I could tell my younger self that, or like if there was a way for me to know it as an adult, I think I would just tell him. I think I'd go with that. So, what would you like to know as an adult?
Oh yeah, like we completely Meg was in the middle of her dog story, and then we just jumped ship to have Lara's answer.
Yeah. Something that I would... Well, that's the thing is I don't know how we got on this topic,
I don't
to
either.
be honest.
We'll find out when you edit it.
Yeah, we will. But I was mentally, I'm like, the very first thing, if I could go back and like, what would I want me to know? It would be probably just like the right kind of therapy, because I was in a different kind of therapy for a lot of years, and I think I've said this a lot of times, but like when I tell you guys that I am not the same person that I was like a decade ago, I mean, I am a different person so completely. Like it's actually insane. I didn't get into the therapy that I'm in now until I want to say 2017, and since 2017 to now, the type of therapy that I'm in and having a proper doctor and diagnosis for the condition that I have and the things that I was going through. And then the biggest change, of course, is like the big factor in my life that was like so consistently like a problem leaving my life, with those things changing, it gave me kind of like the space and the right kind of like communication and stuff to change as a person in being closer to like the ideal person that I want to be. And I mean you guys have seen, like I said, like my neuroses, and like I don't want to go too much into detail because it gets fucking shitty, but you guys have seen like I'm fucking, oh, we make jokes like, oh, is this person to gaslight Megan? Is Megan, haha. But like there's a reason behind that, and if I could have changed that earlier, of course I would have. I would really have liked to, like, depending on how far back we want to go, I'd go back way far. And what's so nice is my dad is the kind of person that, like, if I had like a moment when I was a kid and I could go, like, if I could go back in, like, just teleport what I know now into like childhood me, my dad would be like the one that's like, no, I believe that. And then it's like, hey, this is a communication from Megan from the year 2025, and she says she can only do this once. This is the one thing that she wants you to know. And I just like broke into that. I'm like 8 years old, and I say that to my dad. He'd be like, I believe that. He would just be like, yep, nope, I will believe that. Like, he would just be on it. Like, he's that kind of guy that, like, if I did something like that, he'd be like, okay, so 2025, we can communicate with people in the past. Got it.
Once. You get one chance.
Once. He's like, where the fuck was mine? What do you mean? Where's mine? He'd be like, maybe it's like a generational thing. Maybe it's an experimental thing. He'd be like, he has so many questions, but also he'd be like, what do you got to say? Oh, okay. Got it. Let's do this thing. And so I think that would be like the thing. So I went with something that would change like me as a person, expecting not to be like, well, the winning lottery numbers, because like if I could go back to me at 10 and be like, Megan, these are the winning lottery numbers, that would be the ideal situation. But I mean, because that would fix everything pretty fast. But
I would
yeah.
go back and be like, hey, you're a little homo kid, accept that. Because when I was trying to not be gay, I was so mean to people. I want to go back and fix that. That kid was nasty.
That's too bad.
You should also go back and fix that binder. And
yeah, don't ever fucking ask people for a hug, you little tweaker.
But you know what, though? I mean, sometimes...
Don't date your neighbor either. She cheats on you and abuses you, and you have an eating disorder, you little bastard. Treat yourself better.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like I said, like something that would actually have like a deep impact on me personally. Like assuming that it can't be something like, here's the winning lottery number, and that'll fix your life, But like I would just like tell myself sooner, like this is the right mental health path to be on, and like kind of like just give myself that bit of guidance if that's like the one thing that I could talk to myself about. And I think that alone would kind of like resonate and fix, like you said, like, don't do these things, or like, changing those things. I think that me being in the right kind of therapy would have changed a lot of those things that I really didn't like about myself, or things that I wish that I didn't do, or, things that didn't happen because of how I was in the past. And so I'd probably try and change that just to start off better, start off my mental health and my life a little bit better, and, just kind of give myself a more space, because 2019 was what, 6 years ago.
Listen, Meg, I know you're gay, but you gotta be better at math than that.
5 years ago. well, we're about to hit 2025. That's why I'm doing it.
Roughly.
We're a few months away from it being 6 years. It's 5 years and 10 months ago. Come on, Colin. Really? Come on.
It just made me laugh because, like, I actively, as you said, I looked at my little calendar in the corner of my computer, and I was like, Meg, come on, Meg.
Yeah, okay, I get it. It's not quite 6 years. It's 5 years and 10 months ago was 2019. Fuck you.
Also, for some reason, like, I thought you were going to reference a specific event or time, so I was like, that was partly going to affect it, but then, like, there was a little bit of a pause, and I was like, I gotta grill Meg for this simple math error.
Right. But that's the thing. So 5 years and 10 months ago, like, that's the amount of time that I have been on the correct path for mental wellness. And I feel like if I had been able to start that 10 years ago, even, I would have been in a much better place. Like, I probably, if I'd been able to start this in middle school, I would have gone to college for things. I would have been able to find the things that made me feel good, which is sad because I probably wouldn't have met you guys. Like, I don't think that I would have ever gone to a college that, overlapped with you, Lara, or you, Colin, and we wouldn't have met. So, like, that's a bummer to think about. I wouldn't have ever ended up at TCG player because I would have been not mentally ill.
Damn.
Which is crazy, but not to say that if you're mentally ill, you'll end up a TCG player, but like...
Not everybody who works at TCG player is mentally ill, but everybody who's mentally ill works at TCG player.
Correct.
Yeah, basically, that actually tracks. That tracks the most. But yeah, like, that's the thing, like, I mean, part of me wants to be like, well, some of the experiences and the people I've met and things are worth having gone through some of the shit, but like, a happy medium would be nice.
That's fair.
If I could still know you people and have met and experienced some of the things. Then again, can you imagine coming up to someone and being like, hey, we haven't met in this timeline, but I actually got to go back and alter my own personal timeline. But I still think that we would be really cool friends. And actually, I think that you'll kind of like me better now because I'm less mentally ill. Can you imagine what you would say to that person? You'd be like, no, I think you're more mentally ill. Get the fuck away from me.
Crazy. I'd be like, I think you're mentally ill now. Get the fuck out of my face.
You see, there's one issue, Meg.
Out. Yeah.
Internally, it would help you a lot if you did that and you had like your self-confidence. However, the way you are now is just fucking, it's comedy gold. As we've made jokes, like, none of us have to say anything to like get you fucking riled up. We just have to not respond when you ask a question or say something. And that is genuinely I also relate because there's a lot of stuff where I was like, oh, I should fix this. And then I think about it, I'm like, but that's why I'm funny. I don't want to get rid of that. Maybe I should get cheated on 6 times because like now I'm funny.
But I think
now I'm a little comedian.
Like, okay, so I think that there's a happy medium. Like, let's not go and rewrite all of my trauma, but like I said, like, starting that journey, because like I would have to literally, to like rewrite all of my trauma, I'd have to go back so far. Like, I'd have to go back so far to rewrite all of
for sure. I'd have to do like a laundry list of things to fix all of my trauma, and I hate doing lists, so I think I would just purposely fuck that kid up even more because I would just get annoyed after doing more than 2 things to help myself.
Because that's the thing. If it's like one thing that you can talk about with your past self, like you can only do like a very limited, like one kind of message. I think it would be going back to when I realized I was mentally ill, which was like right around like 11, 12 years old, and like realizing like, oh, this is because like I've always like had issues because of reasons, but like especially right around that time, like things were just getting worse and worse and worse and like compounding and just getting so much crazier. So to be able to go back and tell myself then, like, this is what you need to do, or like this is the path that you need to be on to set yourself up the best mental health wise, I would still have had all that like first 12 years of trauma. And I still would probably go through like a lot of trauma, but I just would be able to have handled it better and not been in some of the situations, or not have some of like the deep set like personality, like I say personality, but like deep set like bad behaviors that I have, like bad coping mechanisms that I have like, you know what I mean? And so I think that that's kind of how I think I would try and go about it if there's just like that one thing, because like you said, like I can be real fucking funny, so don't want to erase all that shit.
Definitely not.
So we'll move into my questions.
Yeah.
Okay. What is something you could get cheap but refuse to?
Toilet paper. I refuse. I don't even buy toilet paper. I literally exclusively buy like dude wipes because I just like people talk about like, oh, I've used a bidet, I can't go back to toilet paper. I hate going like camping, and I hate visiting like hotels and stuff unless I have a chance to like go out and buy my dude wipes, because I fucking hate just using toilet paper.
You
Can
need
I
that
tell you
man
something
packaging.
nuts? I experienced a bidet on accident just the other day.
That is the scariest sentence you can ever say.
On
No, it's just because
accident?
I'm fat. So, like, you know how they have like the little panel like on the side of a toilet for bidets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat on the toilet and like I just like shifted and it pressed the button and I went, oh!
No, I mean like the scariest thing you can say is that you accidentally experienced a bidet, because if you don't know it's there or aren't ready for it, that is the
Mhm.
scariest
It was
sensation
it
in
was
the
jarring.
world.
Yeah, I did not intend to experience it and it was jarring. But I was kind of like, actually
I love bidets.
I wouldn't mind having a bidet. Like, I
They
just wish I
seem
wasn't so
nice.
fat. I'd have to have a different setup one for like where the panel
You
and
can
stuff
get them with
is.
like remote controls.
Yeah. I think I don't know if I like that. I live with other people. Like maybe if I lived
I had
alone
one. The first
and I
one I
could
ever
trust people to
used
wash their hands.
um was like completely manual, where it was literally just a hose attached to the
You had to
toilet that you
squeeze the
had to take
bellows
off
yourself.
and squeeze it and spray your ass. And that one I liked because I knew when it was happening, and like I feel like I had more control over it.
Mm-hmm.
Um Also, but I'm not opposed to like pushing the panel. I wish the panel was a little bit further out because my fat ass kind of gets in the way of it. But
That's exactly what I was
big
saying.
booty
Like,
cheeks.
had the exact
Yeah,
same.
so I refuse to buy like toilet paper. And even when I was using toilet paper, like I was paying for the fucking nice shit, like not the cheap, like just here's a package. But now I fully just like I don't I my roommates have like a subscription, so like we still have toilet paper when we need it, but
Controversial
I
take. Controversial take here. I prefer layering thinner toilet paper to get the desired thickness because I don't like those like plushy toilet papers. If I'm gonna be honest, I just don't like them. So like controversial take, I prefer a cheaper one because then I can layer it as needed. I feel like I
I
have more
just like when I
control.
have toilet paper. I don't care what toilet paper it is. I just like to have it.
I will say
Um,
like toilet paper is one of those things where like I can use it for a bunch of different shit too. Like if I get like a scrape or something, I'll just grab toilet paper just because it's so weirdly absorbent.
Yeah, it is.
that's
It's
like when
definitely
people like how I said that I don't care what kind of toilet paper it is as long as I have it. That's like some people that actually have a real like are firmly grounded on which way the toilet paper has to like face or whatever. I do not care. As long as I have toilet paper, it can face any way it wants.
Yeah,
Under, over, fucking up and down, I really don't care. I
side to
just want to
side.
have it. It
yeah.
could be fucking
I,
Honestly,
diagonal. I
I
really
saw
don't
somebody
care.
do that like checkmate over under people, and it was just somebody who like fucking jammed the stick for the toilet paper holder through the side of the roll.
crime. Anyways, I've given up. Someone in my household, and I don't know who. I suspect it's my father. Um, has started taking the toilet paper off the toilet paper holder every time that they use it and putting it in like because we have like a shelf with like mirrors next to the toilet, and then we've got like a trash can with a lid, and we got the sink right next to the toilet. So like there's like, and he'll put it in like different places. I'm assuming it's him because I don't know who the fuck else is an animal like this. But like taking the toilet paper off the toilet paper roll to use it and then just leaving that way. And it's happened so many times that I've given up putting it back on the toilet paper roll. I've just given up. It's just there now, like on a shelf next to above a perfectly fine toilet paper roll thing, and it just lives there. And it does bother me, but I've given up on it. You know, it's like one of those things where you're like, "Ugh," but then you just like I'm tired of dealing with that mentally.
Meg, what's something cheap? What's something you could get cheap but you refuse to? Silence.
I don't. I really don't have an answer for this. I, I don't think that there's anything that I purchase that I refuse the quality on. Like, I don't. I guess water. I'm really big on like my packaged water. I don't do tap water. That would be super cheap, I guess. There you go, water. Because
Okay.
I'm picky about the taste of water.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, there we go.
We
I
have
just
like
looked
one of
over and
those
saw my
big
water
water
jug.
cooler things, and we have a Brita. So
Yeah, I'm very picky about my water, and I don't know. I get skeeved out by like our household water filters. I know we don't change or clean that shit enough, so like we have like a fridge one, but we never change it. So I'm like, there's no use. Like, that doesn't help anything. So I don't use my fridge water.
gotcha. What about you,
That's
Lara?
fair.
Did you?
My cologne.
That'll do it.
I could get it cheap, but I refuse to because I always get complimented on not even just like my cologne, but like
Just
the
coming up
products
behind
I
you, going,
use to the
"You
products I
smell
use to like
nice."
yeah, well, the products that I use to like take care of myself and um like my cologne and lotion and stuff like that. And it's not even that they're like super expensive either, but I have gotten so many compliments on those products. I refuse to buy anything else.
See, now when I heard this question, so I switch out my hair care stuff a little bit. So normally I use like a waxier shampoo, and then I usually have like a more caustic, like that tea tree oil shampoo that they have. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times they'll have them at salons. But I'm like, oh, I know I get the cheap version of that. It's not cheap, but it's the cheaper version, like the cheapest version that you can get, like one of those like generic formula ones where they're like, yeah, we basically knocked it off because why the fuck would you pay that much for it initially, you know? And so I'm
Right.
like, I got the cheaper version of it, but that's something that I don't like to skimp on is like, I will pay a lot for something. It's just like, that maybe most people don't look at as like a necessary item, but I guess I do buy the cheaper version of that even. But I don't really have like a lot of like most of my personal care things are like cheap. Like, I mean,
And my other question, who are your if you could have a dream collaboration for the channel, either like gaming, podcast, uh maybe other future personal projects that you want to do, or if you could like go onto their platforms, what are some dream collaborations?
Smosh.
That one doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I know. I knew it wouldn't. That's why I just immediately was just like Smosh. Easy. I think that
would be able to die happy if I was able to get onto a Dimension 20 campaign.
honestly, hell yeah. Again,
But
like,
otherwise it would have to be one of the RuneScape streamers or content creators I follow. I would love to like make a video with one of them.
Smosh, Dropout. I think that those people are so funny. Brennan Lee Mulligan. What a champ.
No, I'm was a huge, sorry, Rooster Teeth fan.
No.
So
The way you said that just reminded me of the clip from the fucking Andrew Santiago and Bobby Lee thing, where it's like my mom is the biggest fan of our podcast, and he was talking about how his mom just died recently, and Andrew goes, "Well, she was," and Bobby just goes, "You motherfucker."
Yo, that's someone. You said Santiago, and my brain went to Santagato, and Joe Santagato. I think it's so funny. He says some shit like I watched him ages ago, and then he like moved into some other projects, and now he's back to making like YouTube content. And I just like pop in, and I think
Right.
just the way that he tells stories.
Sorry to cut you off, Lara, but like the way you said that, you were like, I immediately just went like, my mom is the biggest fan. And he just goes, well, she was.
But I was a big Rooster Teeth fan, and they now have kind of delved into their own personal projects. And I think I'm a huge, big Regulation and Astro Goblin fan. I watch
Oh,
them just about every
Astro
day.
Goblin has been killing me, and then brought you this thing, which is Bruce Lawrence and Cassim.
Are
But
Yeah.
are
the
those the
Astro
people that you
Goblin is
reached out
fucking
to,
huge.
Lara? Are those the people that you reached out to about?
A person on Regulation, yeah.
Gotcha.
But would love to. I don't ever see us getting with Regulation at all because like we just make different content.
Mm.
But Astro Goblin, I
Dude,
could totally see like us doing something with them, and I would love to.
yeah, for real, that would be so awesome to be able to
I'll
make
offer them
any
money.
sort of content with Astro. That'd be crazy.
Hey, we'll pay you, Astro. I'll put up the money. How much?
For real. And I'll end the podcast with this question because I feel like it's going to be a bit more. We're gonna have a bit more to delve into here. A lot of people, the most common question with this is like, if you were to wake up as, you know, the other gender, other sex, whatever, you know, what's the first thing you're doing? But my question is, if you were born as the other sex, you could also do it as like if you were to wake up tomorrow and you're man, woman, whatever. If you were born as the other sex, what would you be the most afraid of?
My own penis. Ew.
Getting fucking attacked by men.
Well,
Like I have it easy because like fucking I just exist and people don't fuck with me. But like if I was a woman this whole time, I would be scared of strangers.
Well, see, that's the thing, Meg, is that you're born with it, so it's.
I will say, like when
I woke up tomorrow,
when it starts
tomorrow with a penis, I'd be like,
when it
Right, but if you're
starts like
born-
when it starts
Yeah.
doing shit on its own, I can inform you it is very scary. Like when that shit, when you start hitting puberty and that shit just starts doing its own thing, very confusing, very scary.
But honestly, if I was born a dude, the thing that I'd be most afraid of is not living up to my father's expectations of masculinity.
I'm doing that now. I think.
Yeah, exactly. The amount of times I was joking, I was telling my friends, I was like, the amount of times that my dad, like, I'll do something girly, and he was like, "Aren't you a lesbian?" He'll just hit me with it. "Aren't you a lesbian?"
Yeah, Dad.
You're afraid of spiders.
Girls and lesbians, believe it or not, are the same thing.
He sees the short hair and the fact that I'm gay, and is like, "Well, man, the fuck up."
Damn.
I do think so. Obviously, men and women go through different struggles, and I feel like if I was born as a man, I have this fear as a woman. Of course, everybody has this fear, but I do feel like I would have the fear of being alone. Just because, like, seeing it in a woman's perspective, right? If I'm walking, it's late, right? Just imagine, theoretically, it's late, I'm walking down a street, and
Shia
I
LaBeouf.
see a man coming towards me, I'm gonna cross. If there's nobody else on the other side of the street, I'm gonna cross.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't imagine how, like, if I, you know, put myself in the other shoes, I'm that man, and maybe, you know, I'm nice. I don't plan on doing anything. I'm just trying to get home from work. I'm tired, and maybe that's like the fourth woman that didn't smile at me, the fourth person that didn't say hello and that is trying to get away from me. You know, like I can only imagine how much that kind of eats away at you, that you're constantly seen as this threat, as this scary monster kind of thing. But it also, like, again, putting myself in the woman's shoes, it's a reality that we face. So, you know, I feel like that would be my biggest fear is being alone.
Yeah, as like a super like self-conscious and like traumatized lesbian, even though I haven't had like that much, like there's just like a couple of things like my own like insecurities and stuff. I personally already worry that as like a very like clearly like masculine lesbian, that if I'm too friendly with women, they're going to think that like I'm trying to hit on them. And so the concern from that perspective as a dude, where I'm like, can I just be friends with a woman, or is she gonna think that I'm a creep? Like,
Right.
can I try and approach and like have a conversation with a woman, or is she going to think that I'm being fucking gross? You know what I mean? And so like
Yeah,
that kind of like isolation.
as an adult who is autistic, it's very hard to balance that with also just being like, is this person being friends with me or are they trying to flirt and I just can't tell? Like, I've said it before, I think I have to have my roommate like double check text conversations sometimes because I literally have to be like, I can't tell if this person's flirting with me or if they're just being nice.
Yeah, and text is hard to read even from someone like that isn't autistic. Like it's just
doesn't got the spicy brains.
Because you don't have there's no tone. That's why I prefer talking on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care for like FaceTime or anything, but just like a phone call I do prefer because then I have that tone and I can hear if you're being sarcastic. I can hear if you're joking around. I can hear if you're being serious, you know? Like I have that tone to tell me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And so like I get what you're talking about, like that like isolation I think would be really scary, like as someone with a male gender. Like I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I mean it's not even just like, oh, women wouldn't talk to me, but it's also like we're now going through this revolution, I feel like, at least from what I'm seeing, of like men are finally starting to check in mentally and emotionally with their male friends to be like, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Which I feel like should have happened a very long
time
ago.
As a general public, it's starting to become more common, but like a lot of my friends and I have been doing it for a little while because we've all like, especially one of my fraternity brothers, he and I check on each other. So like we don't talk often, but we will like at least once a month at the minimum we'll reach out and like see how the other person's doing because like at the end of our senior year my parents were talking about breaking up. I broke up with my ex. I was on the verge of getting dropped out of college kicked out of college because I had missed 13 days and you're supposed to be brought up for academic dismissal after 3. And so like I had all of that going on. My grandma's cancer was getting worse. Like I literally walked so the way that it worked at Alfred is you would finish the school year and everybody who wasn't going to graduation would leave, but there was a week where like you would just hang out on campus until like graduation happened. But like you'd get all your stuff packed up and ready to go, obviously. And so I basically like I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, can I just like stay with you for this week before we go to graduation?" And I told him what was going on, and he just goes, "Hey, I'm glad to hear that like, like I'm glad to hear that I can like you." Basically, he was like, "I'm glad to hear that like you are comfortable sharing this with me," basically. But then he also said that like he was also dealing with a bunch of shit. So like for a week, we just sat in because he had a townhouse. So we sat in his townhouse. We like baked chocolate chip cookies, got high, played video games, and just tried to like talk about shit that was going on. But like I genuinely, if not for him, I don't know if I would have survived that week to get to graduation.
Yeah, and I feel like that plays in part. I mean, I'm happy that you had somebody to reach out to. That's great. Yeah. Obviously, not everyone does.
That's true.
And so I feel like that kind of plays in part of the like, if I was born a man, I feel like I would be scared of being alone in multiple different aspects. But yeah,
that was a big thing that also fucked with me working on nights as a remote employee. Is that like I would be like from 5:30 p.m. like back when I worked the overnight schedule on CX, I'd be like from 5:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. and both my roommates would usually be going to bed around like 10 to 11 o'clock. So there's just like 3 hours where I'm literally in my room by myself.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning into this week's episode.
Fuck yeah,
let's end it on a statement. Who wants to like give a statement instead of asking a question? Because we did all questions.
End it on a statement?
Yeah, I'll just say something just out of pocket and crazy. And then we'll do a keeping it and we'll close out.
Out of pocket and crazy.
Yeah, it could be. Or like any kind of statement that you want to make.
Clitnito is the best villain.
Okay, absolutely. That makes sense. And it's Lara's turn anyways. I think, because it was Colin, Lara, me, right? Is that how we were doing it?
I think so.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, we want to keep questioning.